Have you ever laid in bed, exhausted, but your mind refuses to stop? You replay that conversation. You overanalyze the tone of someone's text. You wonder if you said the wrong thing. You imagine 5 different worst-case scenarios, all before you've even had coffee. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone, and you're not crazy. You're just overthinking, but not in the way most people assume, because overthinking isn't a personality flaw. It's not drama. It's not weakness. It's often a survival strategy, refined over time by experience, by stress, by emotion, and yes, by being a woman in a world that expects you to get everything right. In this video, we're going deep. We're going to break down exactly why women overthink, from biology to socialization, from emotional intelligence to invisible labor. You'll learn what's really going on in that racing mind of yours, and how to finally stop looping and start finding clarity. This isn't about thinking less. It's about understanding more, so you can stop trying to silence your thoughts and start actually feeling safe inside your own head. Let's begin. Let's start with something most people get wrong. Overthinking isn't the same as being thoughtful. Thinking is conscious. It's deliberate. It's you choosing to reflect, analyze, plan. But overthinking, that's what happens when your thoughts start choosing you. It's mental looping, repetition, rumination. It's when you go over the same moment 10 times and still don't feel better. It's asking, what did I do wrong, when nothing's even happened yet? And here's what makes it tricky. Overthinking often looks like care. It sounds like responsibility. It hides behind high standards, emotional awareness, or a desire to get it right. But underneath it all, it's usually a mix of anxiety, fear, and the need for control. Many women don't even realize they're overthinking because it's so normalized. Being prepared, anticipating problems, double-checking your tone, that's just part of being on top of things, right? Not always. Sometimes it's your nervous system trying to keep you safe by pre-living stress before it happens. In the next section, we'll explore how women's emotional sensitivity and intelligence make overthinking more common, and why that's not a weakness, but a signal. Here's something powerful that rarely gets said. Many women overthink because they feel more, and not just their own emotions, everyone's. Science shows that women often score higher in emotional intelligence. They pick up on tone, micro-expressions, mood shifts, and unspoken tension. They intuit when someone's upset, even when no one says a word. This emotional radar is a strength. It helps women build deeper relationships, read between the lines, and care for others on a profound level. But here's the catch. The more emotional data you absorb, the more processing your brain has to do. And when your mind can't file it all neatly, when there's no closure or clarity, it doesn't just forget. It loops. You might lie awake asking, did I say the wrong thing? Why did their energy feel off today? What can I do to fix this before it gets worse? That's not pettiness. That's pattern recognition on overdrive. It's the emotional brain trying to solve problems before they explode. But there's a cost. When you constantly absorb, analyze, and pre-manage emotion, your system becomes overloaded. And overthinking becomes a form of mental self-defense, trying to sort through the emotional noise before it consumes you. Coming up next, how anxiety loops hijack this process, turning emotional insight into mental exhaustion. If this content is making sense to you, click the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. Let's talk about what's actually happening inside the brain when you can't stop overthinking. There's a part of your brain called the default mode network. It activates when you're not focused on anything specific. That's the space where daydreaming, imagination, and yes, rumination happens. When this system gets hijacked by anxiety, your brain starts scanning the past, scanning the future, looking for anything that feels unsafe, uncertain, or unresolved. In women, this system can become supercharged, thanks to both biology and conditioning. On the biological side, women's brains often show stronger connectivity between emotional and memory centers. That means memories with emotional weight stick harder and replay more vividly. Then there's cortisol, the body's main stress hormone. When women experience stress, their bodies produce cortisol and tend to hold onto it longer, making it harder to shift out of anxious states. But biology isn't the full story. Culture plays a massive role. From a young age, girls are taught to be responsible for how others feel. Don't upset anyone. Be nice. Don't speak too loudly. Make sure everyone's okay. So when conflict arises, or even just potential disapproval, the mind kicks into hyperdrive. What did I do wrong? How can I fix it? How do I make sure no one's mad? This creates a mental storm of what-ifs and emotional predictions. It's not weakness, it's training. Overthinking for many women isn't a habit, it's a learned form of vigilance. And when that pressure builds with no release, it leads straight into the next trap: mental overload and burnout. That's coming up next. If you've ever wondered why you feel mentally exhausted, even when nothing big happened that day, you might be carrying something called the mental load. It's not on your calendar, it's not in your job title, but it's there, constantly. The mental load is the invisible weight of remembering everything, from scheduling doctor's appointments to remembering birthdays to pre-planning conversations. It's tracking how your partner feels, how your child is coping, what your coworker might need tomorrow, on top of your own life. Women are often conditioned to carry this role automatically, not just being emotionally available, but emotionally anticipatory. And here's the problem: the brain only has so much bandwidth. When it's constantly running background processes like, "What did I forget?" or "Who might need something from me?" you never fully power down. Your thoughts stack, then spiral, then loop. Overthinking isn't just anxiety. Sometimes it's the symptom of mental saturation. So when someone says, "Just relax," it's not helpful. Because it's not that you don't want to relax, it's that your mind doesn't feel safe enough to. Mental load creates a constant sense of unfinished business. And until that's addressed or shared, overthinking won't stop. Because your brain thinks it's keeping you responsible and keeping everyone else okay. Up next, when overthinking stops being just mental and becomes a deep-rooted emotional defense system. Here's a truth that's hard but healing. Sometimes overthinking isn't about the situation, it's about the past. When you've experienced emotional chaos, neglect, or trauma, especially early in life, your brain learns a dangerous lesson. If I don't stay alert, something bad might happen. And that alertness becomes your coping mechanism. You start scanning everything: people's moods, conversations, outcomes, trying to stay one step ahead of pain. This is where overthinking becomes a form of emotional control. You replay old arguments because you never got to feel safe during the real one. You imagine future disasters because at least then you won't be surprised. You stay mentally busy because silence feels like vulnerability. At its core, this kind of overthinking says, if I can analyze it enough, I'll be ready. I won't be hurt. I won't be caught off guard again. But here's the hard part. No amount of thinking ever creates the feeling of safety, because safety doesn't come from control. It comes from trust, especially in yourself. And when that trust was broken early on, the brain tries to protect itself the only way it knows how, overthinking everything. But protection isn't the same as peace, and peace doesn't come from thinking harder. It comes from letting your body know, It's okay to rest. We're not in danger anymore. In the next section, we'll talk about how to start calming your nervous system and stop looping the same thoughts. So how do you stop overthinking when your brain is convinced it's keeping you safe? You don't fight it, you interrupt it. Here's how. Step 1. Name it. When you notice yourself looping, say it out loud or in your head. I'm spiraling. I'm replaying again. That moment of awareness creates distance between you and the thought. Step 2. Shift to the body. Your mind loops to feel in control, but your body is where safety is actually registered. Try grounding. Press your feet firmly into the floor. Take 5 slow breaths, naming what you feel. Hold something cold or textured to snap you back to the present. Step 3. Externalize it. Journaling, voice notes, or a trusted conversation helps dump the tabs in your mind. Your thoughts need somewhere to go, or they'll keep spinning. Step 4. Feel, don't fix. Overthinking often masks a feeling that hasn't been processed. Ask yourself, what am I really feeling right now? Let the emotion come without problem solving it. And remember, you don't have to figure everything out right now. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is pause, not to abandon the thought, but to remind yourself, I'm safe, I'm here, and I don't need to think my way through everything. Let's close this out with one final reminder. Overthinking isn't a flaw, it's a signal that your mind is full, that your heart is tired, and that your nervous system is trying to protect you the only way it knows how, by staying alert. But here's what you need to know. You don't have to earn peace by solving everything. You don't need to predict every outcome to deserve rest. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is to let go. Let go of perfection. Let go of people-pleasing. Let go of the belief that safety comes from control. Because true clarity doesn't come from thinking harder. It comes from feeling safer, softer, and more present in your own body. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to not have it all figured out. And you are allowed to be at peace, even if the world around you isn't. That's not weakness, that's wisdom.